Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Gaming with Cats. I'm Newt Mechanist, and tonight we're going to be continuing our attempt at Call of Cthulhu. Last time we wrapped up with a bit of frustration because the game went from a very atmospheric, almost 3D point-and-click adventure-style experience, and it became cabinet stealth. And I'm not a fan of cabinet stealth. It can be interesting, but it tends to lead to some very contrived experiences. Like, this guy gave no prior indications to being, like, a heavy claustrophobe, but the game seems to act like he is at this point. Like, he had a fine time in a narrow tunnel and whatnot, but now he gets really, really scared in just a handful of seconds in those cabinets. But more on that in a minute. For now, let's check in with kitties. We have Sky up in the cat tree in the top left there. Rorschach is napping on the heating pad across from the desk, and Mason is using him as a bit of a pillow. He's got his back against the little draft excluder there, and he's got his head on one of Rorschach's hind legs. Bottom center, we have Sammy napping in the hammock. No sign of Sherbet or Weasley right now. Ember as well. They may show up at any point, though. That is as they are wont to do. But yes, Call of Cthulhu today. Got some suggestions after the last game that there might be some additional sources of noise we're triggering that could be the source of some of the spontaneous alerts that happen. So we're gonna try to be a little more careful and see if that makes a difference. Additionally, I'd like to try to get as many single instances of progress as we can, because doing things like delivering the handles for the pipes seem to trigger save states, and if we can get more of those, it will be less painful to get caught, since we won't lose all our progress. But with all that said, let's switch over to game audio. Switch into game. There we go. Loading in. Pearson Officer Bradley followed the intruder to the secret meeting place of the cult set in the network of underground tunnels right under the Hawking Manor. Well, they witnessed a strange ceremony led by Charles Hawkins, very much alive. Bradley tried to arrest him, but Hawkins, whose body displayed various mutations, disemboweled the police officer. As he tried to escape him, Pierce found himself the prisoner of a rockfall. Rushed to the Riverside Institute, he is in a critical state, and then recovers after being injected with many suspicious fluids. Is now trying to escape the asylum, with the help of somebody that seems to have been almost immediately captured and escorted out. We are now trying to find valve handles and electrical breakers to create a distraction so that we might also leave. So you can see the effect of going into a cabinet here as we start to hear a very heavy heartbeat. And the world gets darker and darker and seems to, like, wibble and distort.
It's no use. The padlock won't give.
That is another aspect of the game, is you get one try at lockpicking. I don't actually mind that. I think that... Oh, no, he saw me.
Who's there?
So this guy here is really close to one of the wheels that we need to get. And we have to get by this guy in the hall here, as well as get into the pharmacy where there's another guy patrolling. We need him to cross over into the other storage room, which he will eventually do. But we have the added difficulty that he can spot us.
Who's there?
We may be caught. Running, running, running. Yeah, we have a time limit in the cabinet before he freaks out and leaps out of it. We can still vaguely see the alerted guard animation there. Dang it. I mean, most games have a very light on the ground stealth system, let's call it, where it's more about crouching. Like, it's entirely about crouching, and that puts you in stealth mode, which makes you largely imperceptible, whereas walking makes you very perceptible.
Scopolamine, morphine, opium. Nothing but common
Medical
drugs.
knowledge. Okay, yeah, he definitely saw me go into that, but because he wasn't alerted yet, it did not count.
Control wheel to mount on a plumbing system.
Game saved. Key to the maintenance room, key to the guards room. Excellent. Back through here, I believe we can... I can't remember where the gas valves go.
Zoology, esotericism, mineralogy. Sarah Hawkins. She was a patient here. That Dr. Fuller again.
Documented testing to the fact that Irene Sanders, wife of Francis Sanders, had her husband interned after he had shown grave signs of madness. I believe that was the guy that was in the cell across from ours and carved himself up.
Anatomy, anthropology, nothing surprising.
Oh, there's a jump scare for you. That was an intense one. Sucker went right through the glass on his cell door. Can't get there quite yet.
Get me out! If I do not stop, he does not catch me. If he does not catch me, I do not sleep. If I do not sleep, I do not see him. I do not hear him. He does not call me. He does not call.
Electrical room. That's the group that we're trying to this will give us another one of the cables.
Theoretically, I've only got one lever to push.
Yeah, he is intensely claustrophobic. Pincers.
Now for the next step. This lever must turn on the gas machine.
Nice. All of the things are overloaded here. Quite yet, though.
I've got to hide before the guards see me.
Is somebody here?
Hell's teeth. Folks gonna think we did this. We gotta tell them, though.
Oh. I didn't see a thing.
The door is blocked on the other side.
Yay! Oh, yeah, there's Sanders.
Doctor, is that you?
Don't you worry about the doctor. Right now, he'll have plenty to keep him busy with his precious machine. It gives us time to get away. I'll undo you.
Get away? Get away where? I can't go anywhere. It'll find me, like it found me here.
But what is it?
Thinking about the beast. Don't stay with me, or you'll end up the same way.
You're Sanders, aren't you? I heard you from my cell. What did they do to you? What does Fuller want with you?
The doctor? You think it's the doctor who scares me? But the doctor wants to heal me. But he's the one who's crazy. He wants to restore my sight. He wants to give me back my eyes. And yet I told him that I didn't want him. I do not want to see it anymore. The real culprit is Sarah. Her and her accursed paintings.
You're kidding.
The paintings again.
You're talking about Sarah Hawkins.
The one and only. The legendary. There is no artist more enlightened or cursed than Sarah Hawkins.
In her office, I saw signs of a ritual, perhaps an invocation. These things, that's what makes you say she's cursed.
You're wrong. It was not an invocation, but a revocation. But she failed. And that's what counts.
What's going on this island?
I'm so sorry. We should never have met.
What are you talking about?
Destiny! It has trapped you. Don't let it see you, or you won't be able to escape it. Don't look at it. That's how it finds you.
What finds me?
Sarah Hawkins' visitor. The Shambler.
Sanders, pull yourself together.
Without her, it's no longer possible to save me.
Oh dear.
No!
Sanders!
Oh. Oh.
What the hell?
Oh. That's not the way a kneecap is supposed to bend.
I gotta... Okay. This is insane. What killed him? Damn! The gas!
Sellers
My
of the
head.
Riverside Institute.
Later. We need to move on.
This was the guy that we saw get, like, impaled through the stomach by the mutated Jacob Hawkins? And then is miraculously intact now that we found him, but we did find, like, a bloodied badge in the asylum as well. Tentacles. More deep sea and deep sea creature imagery.
Who goes there? That nightmare again. I need a drink.
These are grave accusations. Do you realize what they mean? I have a duty to the patients that the man is toying with their lives. Who knows what he could do? That's precisely why I'll find evidence. Fine, do what you want. I'm just trying to reason with you. I think we have subtitles on because that was pretty much inaudible.
No. I want to know what Bradley and Dr. Colden have to say about all this.
You're awake, Mr. Pierce. How do you feel?
Some
Did I
odd
sleep
behavior from the skirt
The day's
fabric
only starting.
physics there.
It's fine.
How's our fugitive? Dr. Fuller hasn't reported your disappearance to the force, but that'll come soon.
long? Bradley?
Who else would it be?
Mr. Pierce, are you all right? You look like you saw a ghost.
There are things I can't explain.
Tell us. What happened?
I met a Francis Sanders. Do you know him?
Of course, he's a patient. Or was. I haven't seen him since Dr. Fuller had him transferred to the basement.
He knew Sarah Hawkins, and that's what killed him.
What? How did he die?
I'm not sure I can explain it.
Tell me how Mr. Sanders died.
I didn't see what, but something was there with us.
Of what do you speak?
Sanders said it was Sarah Hawkins' visitor. He spoke of it like a living being.
Sarah Hawkins? Have I missed something here? This makes no sense. I don't see how it can help crack the Hawkins case.
You really think she's involved? How could she have murdered Mr. Sanders?
Francis Sanders mentioned Mrs. Hawkins just before dying. It's no coincidence.
You know, Francis Sanders was a well-known art collector. I guess you can still pay a visit to his wife, Irene Sanders.
His
An
wife
art
that had him
collector, you
committed.
say? That's probably how they met.
If you plan on having dinner at the Sanders household, please spare the widow the tale of her late husband's suffering.
I don't agree. She deserves the truth.
But that truth may be biased. We don't know the bottom of it.
Let's
You're
stay
right.
prudent.
Without a plausible explanation for what I saw, let's not jump to conclusions.
That seems wise indeed.
Very well.
This will affect your
I'll go to see
destiny.
Francis's widow. Perhaps I'll find a link between her husband's death and Sarah Hawkins.
Don't end up in the hospital this time.
I'll do my best.
Well, he still has his badge.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
I suspect you can go down a route that has you, like, committed as a madman after a while.
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
He's gonna have a horrible squid parasite in his belly. And here you're presented with another opportunity to drink. Which is, not gonna happen. I'm making this guy into a teetotaler against his will. Pierce, Colden, and Bradley decided to team up to solve the Sarah Hawkins case. They have a new trail to follow. Francis Sanders, an art collector and friend of the painter, who died right in front of Pierce. The detective goes to his house in order to... goes to the house of Francis Sanders in order to speak to his widow about the shambler that the unfortunate man mentioned before he died.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well.
Oh, Cat.
Look who's here? You know each other.
Our paths crossed, briefly. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating Francis' death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me.
Guy popping up to join me here.
May I
Gotta give him
inquire
some
as to
pets,
when
otherwise he'll
you
start
had
getting
the opportunity to
unruly.
talk to my husband.
Yesterday, I met him at
Yeah.
the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah
You.
Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
He died screaming right before my eyes. No
We had a
longer there
short
when it happened.
conversation, and then I left. I don't know what happened after that.
Oh, I see. Mr. Pierce, you must forgive my audaciousness. But I've had practice of life in high society for over 30 years. Reading one's interlocutors, recognizing the politeness of a lie, are things that are taught very early to young girls from a good family. But your lie has nothing polite about it. It is crass, insulting, and dare I say, terribly suspicious. Try to understand my position. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute.
She doesn't
and
buy
right before your eyes.
the lie.
Did you not do anything to help him?
Ooh. We could push her.
With all due respect, Mrs. Sanders, it was you who sent him to this asylum, not me.
How dare you? What was I supposed to do, Detective? Upon seeing such a brilliant mind disintegrate in this way, waking with a start every night with him shrieking in horror, petrified before this accursed painting, unable to look away, until he managed to gouge his eyes out with his own hands. I should have listened to Dr. Fuller, let him intern him months ago. If I am to be condemned, it is because I did not act sooner.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
So he had mentioned that looking at it was part of the kickoff.
Did she really care for him after all?
Dear Madam, I acknowledge receipt of the letter in which you demand the body of your deceased husband. I am sorry to inform you that I cannot agree to return his body to you. At the moment of his internment, you signed a discharge, allowing me to dispose of his body as I see fit. I extend my deepest condolences to you, Thomas Fuller. How polite.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives.
Oh, wow. So I'm guessing that's Sarah Hawkins in the center right there. I think that's her, since of what I recall from the little pictures and investigation scenes. And Miss Sanders on the right. And then Francis, without the big claw mark gouges across his face and eyes. It's less that he, put his eyes out, more that he raked them out. Sleuth mode.
Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even?
The skill system I find interesting in the game.
Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler. Finally. What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting?
Where you have, psychology tests and whatnot that determine how much information you can kind of wheedle out of people, but also out of these investigation
He
scenes.
finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She first refused to sell the painting. How did that make her feel? Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins?
Autism. Yeah, just took his hands and fingers at the nose and just ripped across. Breviary of Medicine, Tome 2. Hit another medicine level yet? Not quite yet. Same with occultism, we've got a ways to go. These two you can't dump skill points into. You have to find things. But I like the idea. Oh, I have lots of character points. I feel like this would be nice to max out, since investigation gives you some further crime scene analysis, but also lock picking. Let's see, we need 2 more here. That puts us at professional level in that. Once we need more, let's prep our way to the final investigation marker. Sure, we look at all her stuff. Oh, that's a statue, all right. Very odd. Don't worry, I'm just dragon questing your house. Riffling through all your stuff.
Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Audio recording that Francis Sanders left for his wife, Irene. Sanders Session 1. Haha, that's a picture of H.P. Lovecraft. Wax
Irene,
cylinder.
I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed gallery. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Well then. Interesting. Guess we can replay it.
A strange Amerindian pendant.
Sleeping pills. The Whale and the Cod. Brief history of Darkwater Island.
I could use one of those.
Found these sleeping pills in the Sanders house. Were they prescribed to Francis Sanders or to Irene?
Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing.
Dear Francis, I beg you to give up all hope of ever owning this accursed painting. If our friendship has any meaning to you, please spare me the weight of guilt. I cannot be the architect of your fall. I beg you, my dear friend, forget the Shambler.
An old diary.
Diary of the Pastor's Wife, Volume 3. This volume spends some time on Reverend Wickwood's community. His wife expresses her worries about the strange dreams that the Reverend's congregation are having since their arrival on the island. Some members of the community, her husband included, began to speak of their vision as a messenger sent by God. She is scared that they will suffer the same fate as the lost tribe, the native tribe of the island. Key to the Sanders Gallery. Well, of course, read the book. Oh dear, this will affect your destiny. The Malleus Bestiarum, Volume 2. Is kind of encyclopedia of the monstrous and unknown creatures. I'm beginning to believe they exist. So on the right we have the two tentacles, a bunch of script, and then dividing the page in the middle is a elder sign in a circle. These could be any number of things. The reference to a dog-like creatures in some Lovecraft stories. I'm trying to think. Might have been the witch's house, or maybe I'm thinking of another one. But you have the Hounds of Tyndalos, the dogs that could travel through corners. Sanity. Okay, there's one here that we didn't encounter. But we have the nightmares, the submerged city, the ritual that we saw, the death of Francis Sanders, and the Malleus Bestiarum. We are now shaken. Deals you have gone through have left their mark, but you still manage as best you can. You keep your mind busy in order to chase away any doubts and painful memories. You still have some ways to go. Who knows where your mind could lead you along the paths of insanity. I kind of like this concept from a sanity perspective. It does have a meter to it, but it's as much about accumulating trauma as far as encounters with the eldritch and unknown go, and the sanity of the people involved. Is that it is not like a mental illness. It is it's not a naturally occurring mental illness in the person. It is a reaction to trauma. Trying to figure out how to articulate that. It's not about it's not like they're not I think it's more akin to PTSD, I should say. Dissertation on an anatomical question. The work of a student in book form. Although the observations are relevant, they lack the expertise of an experienced physician. However, the question asked allows us to imagine new ways of exploring human anatomy. More medical knowledge. Getting close. It looks like one more book might tip us over to professional.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
Some can be more fatal than others. What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
All's fair in love and war, I suppose.
I don't feel like that was an answer to "I'm listening."
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
All right, let's go look at a cursed painting. Oh no. There's a stealth cabinet. Huh. Glowing script. This looks like a double-ended one of the sacrificial daggers from that cult. Spyglass, a ornamental knife, and some coins. That's it? I get a Another ornate knife. Stone mask, maybe? A jar? Probably? It's like a fruit. Another spirally ornate knife. Very, tentacly.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times.
So the last one was a magnifying lens, which indicates looking at it. This one is the hand for some reason. Maybe we can interact with it later. Ornamental scarabs, a box, and another like ritual knife. Maybe an incense burner there. Another fancy knife. Then I don't know which end that's supposed to be, up or down. There's the painting in pride of place there. Tentacles. Yeah, that painting, again, I'm guessing of Jacob, maybe? Maybe someone else? I'm not sure. But the bleeding eye there. Some bangles. Maybe some shackles. These look like they might be clasp style. These are like slide your arm in style. Another knife. Very popular knives. Oh, that one's all jaggedy, like a weird jawbone. Horn. Let's see. Can't tell. It might be like a sounding horn. Could be a drinking horn. I couldn't quite tell if the end of it was supposed to indicate a hole because of the shadow, or if it was just an anomaly of the texturing. Another knife. Be like a... Yeah, it's like a coppery metal with some blackening there. Another jar. Another twisty tentacle knife, a scarab. Some Egyptian imagery was also not uncommon in Lovecraft stuff. Another mask.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
All right. Ooh, that one has an elder sign on it, right there on the hilt. Yeah, look at that. That is another one of those tablets with glowing green embedded in rock. This is a larger version of that statuette on the desk. Some reliefs. Very faded tablets, but similar sort of script, but in stonework this time. The little decoration on the join of the hilt and the blade there, or the right at the wrapping. I wonder if that's like that symbol, the triple symbol on that other one. Okay, oil for a lantern. In before the lights go out and we have to sneak around.
The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
It's like people in like a prayer pose, or in a like a funereal pose, like the, you know, hands crossed on chest kind of thing. Not sure there. A headless figure, or a figure with a tiny head, or figure with great big distorted hands. Eyeless fish heads. Something abstract. Pylon of some kind, maybe?
The public entrance to the gallery.
See if I can spot an elder sign on any of these other knives. Looks like it was just that one. Looks like there's some dirt or something. No, it's like a object. It's being offered. Very sharp brows on that dude. Wow. So we've got a bronze kind of cherub-looking individual that is strangling a duck or a goose. And the bird is like leaking blood from its mouth, and the cherub is leaking blood from its eyes. A sphinx, but it looks like the head is more of like an eyeless fish. That winged and horned thing. The battle of the child and the goose in stone, or lantern light. Two-sided face thing. Looking at all the stuff, because I really expect we're not going to have a lot of look time. That's not an ominous one at all. It's like almost like a mummified body with the weird, like a fabric thing draped over the back. Maybe. What it may be implying is that's like the skin sloughing off of it. But it's hard to tell. Like, you can see the kind of the cracks and the erosion on it give it a sort of like tattered flesh kind of look. All right, let's...
Is this dagger part of Sanders' collection, or was he seeking to acquire it?
Is a spiral tentacled thing with an elder sign on it. Far from possessing the talent of Sarah Hawkins, Sanders drew a dagger with a tortured form down to the smallest detail. The guard carries a strange esoteric symbol, a recurring feature of his correspondence with Sarah. Go find that one now.
Why was he so interested in old weapons?
So that is the one that is in the drawing, I think. Very toothy. Oh man, some good work on his face there. Weird joints, eyeless face, extra teeth. Those are good horror tools for creature construction. Like incomplete wings on its back. That's a fun concept, a creature that perceives by being watched.
What the hell was that? Damn. This dagger looks different.
Nope. I was wondering if that's what we needed to do to kill it. That is not the case. But yeah, it does seem to home in on you if you look at it. Nice touch.
What the hell was that? Damn. This dagger looks different. I can't even touch it.
Nope. Maybe if I take it to the painting. Let's try that next.
What the hell was that? This dagger looks different.
There we go. Oh dear.
What's the matter with you?
From beyond, the thing on the doorstep.
You sure you won't be needing that hand? You're losing it, Detective. At this rate, you're right. The bottle will get you before I do.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
Sanders was right. This painting is cursed.
What are you talking about?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew. You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
It's not your style to give me free information like that.
Take it as payment for being my canary. A simple trade-off. Now go see your antique seller. I've still got things to settle with Irene.
Well, now we have the Eldritch Dagger. The Shambler turned out to be much more than an artwork painted by Sarah Hawkins. As a huge creature came out of the painting to attack Pierce, after a hard fight, the detective managed to send it back into the painting. He later discovered that the dagger he used to repel the creature had been sold to Sanders by a man named Algernon Drake, owner of the Nameless Bookstore. Pierce decided to pay the library a visit. Just don't read any books about a king in yellow. Oh dear. This is not a good sign for Mr. Drake. Either that or somebody busted out the window pane in the crudest way possible.
Where's the books?
Okay, first, let's go to here, and we're gonna bump this up a little further. We need one more point. Oh. I think reading that bestiary may have bumped us up to professional in occultism.
Zeller. Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century.
And had no negative effects on psychoanalysis for the rest of the period. Medicine knowledge. Yep, one more might do it. Anatomy, but then really weird rendition of the brain there. Like Like the nerve clusters are kind of weird looking. Darkwater History by Harry Campbell. Campbell. A Puritan colony led by Reverend John Wickwood settled on the island during the 17th century. They named the island Darkwater because of the dark shade of the sea. They believed it was because of the peculiar color of the rocks surrounding the island. They erected the first buildings, among which were the Hawkins Manor, the church, and the cemetery. The rare documents and handwritten notes they left spoke of nightmares and deviant behaviors. They disappeared at the beginning of the 18th century.
An old diary.
Pastor declared himself to be the prophet. He renounced God and worshipped a strange pagan entity with a monstrous appearance. His wife tried to reason with her husband, but in vain. He was convinced that he must listen to this voice in his head because it holds the truth. A lot of old-looking books positioned right by a window. Books, chess game. Things not going well for the white pieces. Volume 4. In the 19th century, as the American whaling industry reached its peak in the rest of the world, whales gradually disappeared from the waters surrounding Darkwater. This phenomenon appears even more mysterious because, up until then, the region was a favored refuge for cetaceans. In 1847, after months of pursuit, Scylla returned support with a gigantic creature on board. Its crew asserts that the sea monster had eaten all of the disappeared whales. After a night of ferocious combat, the survivors managed to drag the beast onto the whaling ship. That brain sketch again. Deep skeleton. Gut organs. Refill our lantern.
What happened here?
Reconstruction mode.
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? Blood. Seems like amateur work.
Yeah. Like, they punched out that part of it and then reached right through, slicing themselves up. So either incompetent or...
Someone tall left this footprint. A man, probably.
You know, incompetent or, brutal, like they didn't care.
This burglar seems to be rather clumsy.
Yeah, just kind of smashing through things.
What killed all these animals?
Dead rats. Lots of cockroaches. Sort of like splotch behind it there.
What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene?
Oh, there's another elder sign on a safe back there.
What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins?
This is an interesting aspect in some Lovecraft stories as well. There's sort of a knowing too much is dangerous. Like, metaphysically dangerous to you. And I wonder just how much of that is related to Lovecraft's, like, spotty education when it came to some things. I wonder how much of that was sort of like projection. That learning things outside of his experience could actually be bad. There are things like, I think it's called Cold Air, where he even makes air conditioning sinister. Then, of course, again, there's the hilarious quote from his, from like his autobiographical stuff, or mentions of his life, where he talks about lacking the constitution for math. Like, he wasn't physically hardy enough to handle math, which may explain why he uses terms like non-Euclidean to be like alien, as opposed to geometry on a sphere, you know?
Looks like the symbol rejected Hawkins.
So we have somebody with a big imposing book. Sarah Hawkins.
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
Neat. And I didn't see any cabinets in here, which is good.
Is everyone on this island taking sleeping pills?
I can't remember whether it was Call of Cthulhu or the Terror at Red Hook, where might have been Call of Cthulhu, where the presence of the awakening of an elder entity was causing increasing waves of people to experience nightmares and visions. It started out with, like, fringe artists and writers would progress through and was gradually reaching more of the populace. So I wonder if it's something akin to that.
What link did he find between Charles Hawkins and an old amulet?
The Key of Rillier. Lovecraft words are tricky when it comes to their pronunciation. Like, Cthulhu is like Cthulhu. But even that's wrong, since a lot of the concepts are supposed to be that the pronunciation is hard to determine, and that the actual pronunciation, even the approximated one, uses strange sounds. Like, it's meant to be that the human throat actually can't make that sound. Kegley Museum of Egyptian Wonders closes its doors. This key that bears the Elder Sign is the only one able to protect your psyche. It is in the form of a cylindrical medallion. It looks kind of like a disc, more circular than cylindrical. You tend not to... You usually don't refer to something that's a real squat cylinder as cylindrical. Or maybe that's just me. Hanging at the end of a heavy chain. Hundreds of years ago, the star and the branch whose purpose is and the branch whose purpose is to push back the forces of the Great Old Ones were engraved at its center. Everything points to it being Charles Hawkins that tore it from its last owner, an Egyptian antique dealer. In press cuttings that mention the misdemeanor, the date of the robbery coincides with the last of Hawkins' trips to Cairo, as opposed to trips to Cairo. It remains to be seen whether he knows of the true purpose of the artifact. Try to find it. So this is a reference to Hawkins burning up the family wealth going on travels around the world. It may be that he was going to particular places to try to obtain or steal or otherwise obtain these artifacts. Pry bar.
Drake left instructions on how to find the combination of his safe.
A page seems to be hidden here. It is possible to read, "If somebody finds these memoirs, there will be no doubt that I am in serious trouble. My last and only hope is that my body and bones are still in this plane of reality, in order that they be recovered and burned. The funeral urn must be given to my dear mother, if she is still of this world." The following message is of capital importance. Whoever reads these lines and demonstrates acuity as sharp as mine can hope to gain access to my most precious possession. It lies within my safe, and the clues to the combination are to be found in 3 cylinders, each hidden where life and study combine in the Greek world. Each cylinder is numbered, even if, as the celebrated author says, order is the pleasure of reason, but disorder is the delight of the imagination. Indeed, despite my preference for organized chaos, I must admit that reason usually prevails in the end. This is just him commenting on the fact that he numbered them. If by chance a person, or should I say a genius, was to match my intellect, totally humble, and find the combination of the safe, I would ask that they deliver its contents into the safekeeping of my friend and colleague, Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University, a recurring character and place in Lovecraft stories. The contents of this safe is not only a vast digest of knowledge, but also a weapon that is far too dangerous for it to fall into the wrong hands. I hope that you will be able to appreciate the danger that this represents, and that you will act accordingly. In any event, I will neither be there to guide you nor to suffer from your actions. Handbook on the Anatomy and Dissection, Book 1. The least that can be said about this book is that its title is well conceived. The illustrations of human anatomy and dissection methods presented are illustrated in great detail. You have to have a strong heart or the detachment proper to doctors to consult its pages. Yep, we've reached professional in medicine knowledge. Excellent.
Arkham editions. Never heard of him.
Azathoth and Other Horrors. A collection of poems by Edward Pickman Derby. Pickman... There's Pickman's Model, which is about a guy that has, like, mysterious paintings and whatnot, with the implication being that the model that he's using is a ghoul of the Lovecraft world. I think that's how it went. Been a bit since I read that one. The ghouls were not like, your Dungeons and Dragons ghouls that were kind of zombie things, but these are still like corpse eaters. Sort of humanoids with like dog-like features, Also known as the Nightmare Lyrics, this collection of poems was sensationally received when first published in 1908. Derby was only 18 years old. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology, a luxurious collection of treatises and works on the and works on esotericism and the supernatural.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
H.P. Blavatsky, Isis Unveiled, Book of Esoteric Philosophy, and a key text in Madame Blavatsky's Theosophical Movement, written by Helena Petrovna Blavatsky. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology.
Another volume by Arkham Editions.
Key of Solomon, Book of Spells supposedly written by the legendary King Solomon. It contains various rituals of invocation and rituals of curse. Reedition by Claudia D. Waits, based on L.W. DeLawrence's original. The Waits were a family referenced in... what was it? It's not Innsmouth. It's the other one with the spawn of Yog-Sothoth. Dunwich Horror. I think it's the family is the Waits that are involved in that.
Arkham Editions.
They were not known authors.
Never heard of him.
Massa di Requiem per Shuge. Opera in 8 acts by B.C. Brodighera. An infamous lyrical work published in Italy in 1768. It is said that the opera was performed only once, resulting in an audience riot that left several dead and missing. It's what happens when you get a 0 on Rotten Tomatoes. You are legally allowed to lay siege to the producers.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
The Prophecies by Nostradamus. Collection of long-term astrological predictions written in verse. Written by Nostradamus, translated by E. Leone and Theophilus Widebridge. This volume is part of the Arkham Anthology. Okay. Many
Another
Arkham
volume
Anthologies.
by Arkham Editions.
Corpus Hermeticum. Written by Hermes Trismegistus. Hey, that's where Final Fantasy XIV, its recent expansion, has a boss fight against a creature that uses Trismegistus and a character named Hermes. Translated and edited, yep. This collection of texts on different beliefs was written by a legendary philosopher. It includes a translation of the Emerald Tablet, a popular text among 16th century alchemists.
Arkham Editions. Never heard of him.
Or he's never heard of Arkham Editions. I am shocked at this point. Aurea Linda, an ancient Frisian manuscript translated by William R. Sandbach. The text claims that in the distant past, Europe and other continents were controlled by the mothers of this people, and moreover, that our alphabet is derived from the Frisian language.
How many volumes are there in this collection?
Things That Should Not Be, a study of American folklore. Collection of essays on American folklore, urban legends, written by Albert Wilmarth, professor at Miskatonic University. Those
Cylinders that Drake tried to hide. I should perhaps listen to them.
Anatomy of Dissection Book 2. Breviary of Medicine, Volume 3. Haven't missed anything.
Things are not looking good.
Cylinder 1.
And these red drops, like precious stones, lie fixed, set in divine gold. To be the guardian of the Grail does not protect me from its attractions, Henry. And I do confess it. I am willing to pay to know its secrets.
A red drops on gold, a grail. There is a gold chalice around somewhere.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White Queen from their dark soldiers. I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as my apprehension grows. We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
Number of white pieces on the chessboard.
Dear friend, I thank you again for the anthology of the works of Arkham editions that you sent me. Volume 9, Azathoth and Other Horrors, seemed particularly relevant to my research. I never tire of browsing through them.
So it's 9 or the number, the volumes that there were. So let's see, there are 4 white pieces remaining.
The Chalice of Knowledge.
Say, we'll start with this one since it's near this scratch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5, 4, 9, maybe? Let's find out. Try 8 instead of 9. Wait a minute. What volume is the
Drake
Azathoth
talked
one?
about a particular volume. So these are the volumes that Drake... What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about So these are the volumes that Drake was talking about in his message.
Volume 9. It's 18 years old. 1908.
What did Drake say about this collection? Drake talked about a particular volume.
Maybe 8? There are only 8 books and there's 1908. Oh. Let's check our numbers.
The Queen has little protection.
Oh, okay, wait.
I finally understood that we were only pieces on the chessboard of the gods. Let those of us who are still standing protect our White
There
Queen from
are
their
3
dark
defenders of the
soldiers.
White Queen.
I see our number dwindling, and my will strengthens as
So
my
539, maybe.
We shall refuse to be the playthings of destiny.
There we go. It's the chess one that was wrong. Big ol' elder sign. Heavily bound. Oh, you see the glow winding around him. Riverside Institute. Traced the trail of an attempted burglary. He discovered that Charles Hawkins was behind the attempt. Pierce opened the bookseller's safe to find what the latter and Sarah Hawkins had hidden there. A book covered in human skin lay inside. Irresistibly attracted the book irresistibly attracted the detective. When he opened it, his mind was projected into another body. The implication being the Necronomicon, since that's how it's usually described in the sort of interior text that it's usually shown with, but they haven't explicitly stated. Which was the Necronomicon is supposed to be as much a sort of diary of Abdul al-Hazred, the quote-unquote mad Arab.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Very well. I'll examine him. "30-year-old subject. Severe hypothermia. Erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums. Necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell."
So, something like frostbite?
Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky.
Like
So,
a
doctor,
tentacle.
An opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
Again, sea creature-like traits.
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
Going all squiddly.
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations. And this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients. Provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
These are alarming symptoms. If we don't act, he'll die.
Do you believe that? I'm not as convinced, you see. I even think this man has a strong chance of completely healing from his ailments.
No, Doctor. This patient isn't himself anymore. He's dying.
Really? What do you mean by isn't himself?
He's changing. His physical characteristics, they are more animal than human now.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
I'd originally said at least they didn't give him a German accent, but it seems to be
mean?
faint.
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
I disapprove of Fuller's methods, but his treatments have saved more lives than I can count.
And Mr. Blake? You said yourself he was dying.
I don't know what to think for now. What I'm sure of is that Fuller is hiding something from us, and I need to know what that is before I take a chance exposing him.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep Mum.
Yes, Tess, we did get out of the stealth sequence. I don't really know what made it different this time, but we did find some keys that were an extra save point, and that let us move around a lot more freely to hit our targets.
An unknown medicine. Judging by the other ones, it causes heavy side effects.
We have touched a maybe Necronomicon book and been projected into the mind of Mary. Stealth cabinets. We got to fight a horrible painting monster.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays.
Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Come now. Don't let that witch sap your morale. We're lacking in qualified personnel, and she knows it. Her petty punishments won't last forever.
I'm trying, Doctor. I'm trying. It's just that sometimes I imagine she shuts down the water herself, just for the pleasure of harassing me.
Her time is much too precious for these kind of petty games.
Anyway, I've learned my lesson. I'll hold my tongue next time.
Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
Rummage, rummage.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
Huh. Harnesses for, what I'm guessing, hosing people down. Where they keep the linens or something? Out of what I presume they meant to be sheets laying around. Graph. The Reference Book of Medical Sciences. Like a dictionary, this work references in alphabetical order all medical sciences known and practiced in the modern world. For each of the entries, the major works and the names of the reference authorities are listed. Medical science. Our desk. Nameless desk. Nameless desk and one of those horrifying desk spikes. Paperweight. Like, actually in use paperweight. One of those anachronisms often known by name but not used for function.
I have little time for you, Doctor. you'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do. Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
Ah,
That
this
will
is
be
Mary
necessary.
Donovan. We are Mary Colden.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
Cut off the water. Okay, so we'll have to track the pipes, the boiler room, yeah.
Let's hope I can go through the administration office. The operating
Orderlies are
room is
so
never
sinister.
accessible after an operation.
Dr. Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
I'll see to it right away.
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients' files around here.
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Fuller, he's in charge. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until they get what they want.
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes. A man has been brought up from the basement.
Oh. What state is he in now?
You should go see for yourself, Doctor.
That kind of state, huh?
This man, Edward Pierce. His file is incomplete. What did Fuller do to him?
Okay, this is, I think, prior to her coming down and trying to help us escape. Strangely incomplete, and the details on treatment is not given. It does not respect standard practice.
The boiler room key is not in its place. Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him.
Storage room key. We can't take the other keys, but we do need to find the boiler room key then.
Dr. Colden.
He has nothing more to say to us.
It's a quiet little town. Days go by, steady as ever. I wanted more for myself, but...
Trails off into silence. Hawking's wing.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Those basement brutes tied him up too tight, and now he's hurt.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man.
It's very much a don't care, do your job kind of statement. Harsh. Freaky dark drips. Boiler room key.
The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait. She recently came back from the surgical block. She's stable. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable. But Fuller was able to save her kidney.
Yeah, I'm sure that weird glowing goo that he likes injecting people with has nothing to do with it.
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
Ah, the whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
The one that hides the smuggling business.
Oh no, not them. They don't go on that side of the island. Everyone in his place. The captain on one side, Cat on the other, and me. Well, I've been to the whaling station, I have.
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back.
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out.
That might be something that we can investigate later when we are Pierce again. Hello, Weasley. Hello, buddy.
Doctor, please.
Mrs. Sanders?
My chest. Oh.
Huh. Don't recall Mrs. Sanders being in here.
Why did nobody tell me about her admission?
File describes the state. Oh no, there was a file that mentioned that she had been institutionalized, I think. File describes the state in which Irene Sanders entered the Riverside Institute, as well as the treatments administered to her. Fuller added a handwritten note. He recommends to take her down to the psychiatric wing in order to provide her with the quiet and rest that she needs. Please write distinctly. I can't recall if that file was about... No, there was a file about Sarah being institutionalized, and that Irene there had Francis institutionalized.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands. Hay fever. What's he doing here?
A. Supposed to be somebody in Block B as well.
Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
Something that Pierce mentioned when he was looking through the antiquarian's office. They had sleeping pills as well, and so did Francis Sanders in his office.
This place draws you in and never lets you go.
Men's bathroom.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. and I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's so unfair.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom.
Oh, that was the guy with the problem with his drip. Yeah, there we go. Hello.
Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I've tended to her, and I have good news. Her blood analysis is reassuring. Her kidneys are as new.
Are you talking about the same person? This is miraculous.
She's still recovering, but you may speak to her upon her awakening.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. We'll wait for her to wake up. We've been here since this morning, so it won't make a difference.
We got the achievement Hippocratic Oath. I think that might be because we actually went through all of the stuff that was mentioned. The people waiting for news of their family, checking on each of the patients, all that stuff. Oh. Well, now they've got orange and red lumps and brown sauce.
Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
Yum. See, we got apples, crusty bread. Like, as in, it has a thick crust.
Watch out for the water, Doctor.
Each room. Our medical journals.
Dr. Colden?
Yes, that is my name. Move along. Okay, now we need pharmacy.
The doses prescribed by Fuller are far too high.
Prescription for barbiturates signed by Dr. Fuller. For smudge.
We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks.
Uomo Delinquente? The pseudoscientific work by Cesare Lombroso Cesare correlates an individual's morphology with his criminal predisposition. The seriousness of this study and the accuracy of the demonstrations can deceive an uninformed reader. It's got a phrenology kind of vibe. Yeah, there we go, Tess. Yep. Oof. That is a boiler room. Greenish goo. I wonder if it's a leakage from below.
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
I mean, there's a whole pile of them laying right there. And to be fair, nothing that would make a great, like, lever. You could wail on it with a mallet. That might work.
Where did my fiancée go? I hope those nutcases will stop burdening her with work.
Oh, Officer...
Ethan.
Marie,
What are you
Bradley.
doing here?
I'm waiting for my medication, of course. Why?
Tell me your symptoms.
I have headaches. And I can't sleep.
Do you suffer from insomnia?
No. Look, I don't want you to laugh at me.
Ethan, if you don't trust me, then who?
I have nightmares. They keep me awake every night. It seems stupid, I know, but they're terrible.
Actually, you're not the only one.
No. No one has ever seen the things I see. It's like I'm turning mad.
If you look, you can see the scar on his left cheek, where the bootlegger cat sliced his face open. That was she carved him a smile, but now he can only smile with the left side.
So many people have this affliction. It's like an epidemic.
Do you think it might be related to Fuller's work?
I don't know yet, but I will figure all this out. Everyone in Darkwater is suffering from nightmares.
Really?
We don't have any medication left.
Oh, there's no excuse then. I should let you work.
Take care, Ethan.
You too, Marie.
So his badge is indistinct, but I wonder if that's just a save rendering cost on the model. It's a little more distinct from a distance, oddly enough. But his presence here is again one of those mysteries, because Pierce has been committed, which is after when Bradley was supposedly killed. And now he's also up here, so he doesn't just appear in the psych ward. Or he doesn't appear only then. He's out and about. Diphtheria is deadly. Immunization is the safeguard. Ask your local council offices or welfare center. Dr. Batty's for your health asthma cigarettes. Oh, asthma cigarettes, folks. Asthma cigarettes. For the temporary relief of symptoms of asthma affected effective against asthma, hay fever, foul breath, all diseases of the throat, head colds, canker sores, bronchial irritations. Not recommended for children under 6. That's the line. 6. That's the line. Fresh air for the babies is as essential as proper food. In his screened crib, baby can sleep out of doors, safe from harm. It's a little baby cage. In this pen, the baby can amuse himself, and his mother need feel no anxiety for him. That is a crib cage with legs. It looks like one of those, like a chicken coop, like a minor chicken coop or a rabbit hutch. Then you have The Wrong Way, which is like a wheelbarrow almost, maybe? Issued by the Division of Child Hygiene, State Board of Health, from Topeka, Kansas. Pneumonia strikes like a man-eating shark. Led by its pilot fish, the common cold. Consult your physician. Era plausible posters. Okay, we talk to these folks. Does have a pry bar here in admission, maybe? Nope.
Intoxication from breathing organic vapors.
Organic vapors. Sure I didn't miss any useful doodads. See, more of the sleeping pills right there. Those 2 blue bottles, I think. This was the guy that kept saying he could see the place where he fell and broke his back. Gonna sweep the rooms again, just to be sure we didn't miss anything. Calendar. High security unit for authorized personnel
Everybody
only.
says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And
He's
I'm the
referring
one
to
who
the head
pays.
nurse.
What a pest. It's so unfair.
It's like the vent we crawled through in the lower floor there. So as demonstrated with the wheel, Dr. Colden isn't as capable of pulling those vents off. Pipe that heads to the boiler room, just to emphasize that you could follow the pipe to find it.
And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. It's
So maybe she can, because that grate and the stealth cabinets are around. They might just be getting used for decorations, but if stealth thing triggers, then we might have to use those. Those outbox paper stakes are still just as a work-related injury in waiting. Can't walk through there yet. The head nurse will get all pissy with us again. That is the office we are attempting to sneak into.
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
There, cleaning the surgery ward there. An indication that we couldn't get the keys from there just yet. There it is. Hidden object. The monkey wrench. You have your monkeys running around all loose. You gotta tighten them up. Another wrench. I wonder if that one would have counted too. Admin. Boiler room.
I feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion.
Dr. Colden, might there be a problem with the water?
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off yet again.
I can't take this, Marie. I feel I'm gonna burst.
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
And yet, I'm the one who gets punished because I'm gonna have to square off with that annoying old witch. Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go. And hold your tongue this time.
Get into Fuller's office. Taking the roundabout path through the office.
Mrs. Donovan?
I'm busy. Elizabeth, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
At last. The missing files must be hidden here. I should go another way.
So we're looking for the medical files that he's hiding.
The Stendhal syndrome. Of course. This is where Fuller found his diagnosis for Francis Sanders.
Study of the Stendhal syndrome, a particularly rare mental illness. Subjects display mental disorders linked to an exposure to works of art. It's a very, very particular affliction.
Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle.
Ah, one of these puzzles.
I've
There
unlocked
we go.
something. Patient files. I was right.
Thunder was hidden inside Fuller's office. He recorded his thoughts about one of the many psychoanalysis sessions he submitted Sarah Hawkins to.
Conclusions, session number 17. Patient, Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have finally accepted the illusory nature of what she calls the mythos. It goes without saying that these peculiar delusions are the price that comes with her exceptional gifts.
They're hidden objects.
Why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
At first, I presumed that her blood was the key. But I found nothing to explain Mrs. Hawkins' abilities.
Those terrifying old-timey syringes.
The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Then James came, irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him. I presume that he will try to break into the basement sooner or later.
But it's Charles
I am
Hawkins.
prepared.
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller. What is the connection between these three?
It is fortunate that I had the presence of mind to set the morgue in the basement. When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings.
Why is Ethan on medication?
Meantime, they must remain hidden in plain sight.
Finger.
This finger belonged to a woman. Why keep it here?
There we go. Shoe.
Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection.
Burned shoe.
I must go back to the basement.
I wonder if this is after she was escorted out of the basement? Or is this the first time that she'll encounter Pierce? Odd position for a lift. Oh dear. It's like it's partially down from the surface. How do you get in? Short answer, you don't.
Ah, now that's the Marie that I know. I knew I could count on your scientific curiosity. It's time to show you what you were so eager to discover.
Oof. Dabbity.
If you're gonna shoot me, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes.
Turn around.
Ah,
Slowly.
that's the antiquarian.
Talk, filthy thief! Or I swear I'll shoot!
Take a minute to look around. Everything points to Charles Hawkins.
He's dead!
No. He was here for a very specific item.
Oh, no.
The book. Why was it in the safe?
Have you read it?
Answer the question.
How foolish of you. Now you won't be able to escape his will. What did it show you?
I don't have master occultism.
She went into Fuller's office. She was looking for Sarah Hawkins' corpse.
Sarah Hawkins, you say? Let's go back to the start, shall we? Whose life did the Necronomicon choose to show you?
Dr. Colden. She was at the Riverside Institute. She's in danger. I have to go.
Wait! No one knows the occult better than me. You might need my help.
Sure.
All right. I might need you after all.
This will affect
Perfect.
your destiny.
Let's meet later at the Hawkins mansion. Now go! Rescue the doctor!
Thank you, Drake.
Algernon Drake will remember this. Look, he's got a lot of, like, scarification, looks like, on his limbs, and then he's got the script from those tablets tattooed on his inner forearm there. The book projected Pierce into the body of Dr. Colden. The detective watched helplessly as Bradley's friend carried out her inquiry. Confronted with the experiments of Fuller, she got into his office and discovered that the director of the Riverside Institute was hiding information on, if not the body of, Sarah Hawkins. But she was discovered by Fuller. Pierce must save her before it's too late. We're not going to have to do the stealth cabinet thing again, are we? I get the impression that we're going to have to do the stealth cabinet thing inside the first floor.
I pray that Colden is really here. And
Yep.
alive.
Pastor's Wife, Volume 1. Diary of Reverend Wickwood's wife, her husband John, built the first Hawkins home called Hilltop at the end of the 17th century. They were among the first white colonists of the island. The previous inhabitants disappeared mysteriously 3 centuries earlier.
An old diary. What the... Fuller, too.
Would you read the book? Well, of course I'm going to read the book. This is Volume 3 of the Malleus Bestiarum. This collection catalogs and classifies creatures that I had never heard of. Divinities from the stars, creatures capable of traveling from one dimension to another. It presents itself as the reference of work on the bestiary of the myth, without giving details on the mythology to which it refers. Its pages are covered with phantasmagorical illustrations. The thing in the lower right looks like the Shambler from the painting. Same on that page, the statue from the cult. We have the dagger that we use to slice the painting and banish the Shambler, and then, of course, an elder sign. And we lose a bit more sanity. But our occultism increased very slightly. At the Shambler, we read... Okay, it was the Necronomicon. We read from the Malleus Bestiarum collection twice. We are still just shaken, but, you know that's gonna get worse.
Right. Enough time wasted. Colden needs me. I must find her.
Us it's stealthing.
No! No! My God! What is happening to me?
Interesting. That was the Shambler's
What was
form
that?
again.
It's as if I'd been transported somewhere else.
Sigils. Various medical books that we found when we were playing as Colden. We can now pick up and get the benefit of. Okay, We cannot enter the stealth cabinet, so that's a good sign. It's not guaranteed. We getting that heartbeat, huh? Okay, that just loops. Definitely missing something here.
What happened? Something has changed, but what?
Oh dear. Elder signs. The phrenology style book. Still can't enter the stealth cabinets. Good, good. Well, the colors are inverted. The black symbols on greenish mist instead of green symbols on grayish mist. Okay, we can swap lanterns again. Okay, we opened the door, and now we can pass through that side.
Where have I seen this symbol?
it increases the brightness at a heavy cost to its current oil level. And coming in here refills it. So if the lantern goes out, we die. Or at least we get thrown back, I should say. It didn't seem like... Yeah, we didn't get a game over. Attention to the floor, perhaps. It's kind of a burst when you use it. Sort of spikes the oil usage. There we go. Okay, I had to hold it and burn up a lot of oil to activate the sigil. So we're going to have to very carefully husband the oil. Okay, we need to find the that other symbol. Open any Elder Sign doors to break those little teleport you back markers. Yeah, Tess, the when I found that green symbol, I originally just like tapped it, and then when I walked out I held it and it burned bright for a while. And then I got Et when it ran out. So it seems like I need to do the long burn to make it work.
It has trapped you.
Part of the last rant from Francis Sanders before he got splatted all over his cell there. Oh, wait. Now we can zap this one. Glowing light cares not for your walls.
You are confronting powers that surpass you.
Yeah, thinking back, when I just tapped it, it made the rune glow a little bit. Still can't use stealth cabinets. This is good. The paths are getting longer. Pretty much, Tass, pretty much. Alright, I've got to do another Elder Sign door. Head nurse. The Elder Sign doors are the things that remove the teleport gates from the Green Lantern path. Okay, back in Fuller's office now. This is where we initially broke in. Three-pronged one might be the last one left. Is not a short run to get to it either. That one got me too. Oh, man.
It looks like things are back to normal.
Woof. Yeah. So we can see the elevator cage, but the roof of it is right here at face level. With the door. But then the elevator itself, with the operating levers inside, is too low to get into. I mean, I guess you might be able to open the door and, like, shimmy under it, or, like, squeeze under it and then lift it, but why would you exit it that way? Let's see, Mary got this far. Eerie singing. Perhaps an eternal hallway?
What's going on? It never ends.
Doo-doo. Running, running, running.
Damnation. That's me.
Oh. That was a neat effect.
I gotta get out. I got.
Ooh. Now we're getting the good stuff.
Pierce, I found her. I finally know what's going on. You must live and find the truth. It is already too late for me.
Colden? What's going on? Was it a hallucination?
Yep.
Please take a seat and be quiet, Mr. Pierce. I'll be with you in a moment.
Stop whatever the hell you're doing and turn around now.
Oh, she very dead. And that's the weird green light thing.
No, it can't be.
No! You son of a bitch! What did you do to her? I wish I could have done more experiments on you, Mr. Pierce. I said, what did you do to her? You shouldn't be sorry for your friend. You should envy her. Murderer! This madness must stop!
Well then.
Colden?
Ooh, I wonder if this is related to Officer Bradley. The way that there was a second Colden in this seemingly dead Colden. Spiky bits and squiddly tentacles. Interesting. I could hear Sherbet trilling, hopping up there to be with Sky. A painting of Pierce looking at, like, a lake in a copse of trees. Oh. Yeah, I've got to rig up like a ceiling mount to accomplish that. Then you can get a better view.
What in God's name? Sarah. What'd they do to you?
Sarah Hawken. Still alive, apparently. See, little toy soldier from her kid. A lot of grubby pots in that room.
Sarah.
The Curse of Sarah.
He gave him the gold and I...
Paint buckets.
The azure. I don't see him very often anymore. The green is stronger.
Are you feeling ill?
I'm here, but no.
Let's get you out of here.
It comes in my dreams. Our minds melt like colors on a palette.
Come with me.
It's of the oldest green. Violent living, vibrant. A sea green, maybe. No.
Mrs. Hawkins, we must go before someone finds out.
Oh, but he will. He always knows these things when it's about me.
Valid sanity requirements.
I have seen the same color. It was not as vivid as you said.
A pale copy. A discarded spawn.
Do you know what it was? Tell me.
I can't. We should not call his name. Terrible consequences.
Oh,
all right.
Those wide eyes.
With me.
He will know. He will find us.
One more reason to hurry.
Have I seen you before?
Can you walk?
Maybe.
Then let's go before your husband finds us. It was in your studio.
What?
You painted me. That's where you saw me.
Of course.
Paint buckets all over.
The men in white are coming.
Tubes of paint.
You mean the guards?
This way. Follow me.
What the?
Oh no. Yeah. I got this.
Won't get far.
Okay.
Come out of your dumb hiding hole. Just you wait.
Kind of awkward since you run a little faster than her and her pathing is wonky.
It's the green. The decaying one.
The gas.
Yes. It's not good for living beings.
We don't have time for that.
I am not moving until the wrong is set right.
Damn it.
Green goo.
I'd be better off finding a tool. Perfect. All right. That should do it. Let's move.
Oh, it's squiddly.
I'm your puppet no more, you bastard!
You're my wife. You owe me obedience.
Leave her alone! We're leaving this crazy island.
You are going nowhere. Don't get between me and my wife.
He tells me what to do with my wife.
Bonk. That was not the sound of a smack with a poker.
No! Why should I let you take her away when I could snap your neck? All you did for her safety was throwing her in this rat hole. I hid her well enough. You let Fuller play with her. Stop. I did everything I could to protect her. But her identity, her power, is what threatens her. What? Sarah has seen things, has made things you can't even begin to imagine. Would you still save her if I told you that she is even more dangerous than I am? It was her magic. The bookstore. How do you know that? It does not matter. Sarah has been in the presence of the myth for too long. Even if she were to leave Darkwater, she would still hear his call. And the cult will always be here, waiting for her. Then we get rid of its members. You are out of your league, detective. They control the whole island. She will finally surrender to his power, and the world will fall with her. Don't! No one can escape the wheel of destiny, they say. But I will change it. I will save Sarah.
Oh dear. Right through the neck. She's got some upper body strength. Oh man. Through the base of the skull down through the neck. She's got some real upper body strength. That left eye all bugging out. Oh, dang. That'll finish him off. Though, where'd you find that? That would have been useful earlier. I mean, luckily there were definitely no more patients up in the upper floor. Or in the lower floor, because, you know, igniting the oil that was being pumped, the oil that was being made into a gas that was flowing throughout the whole building. Yeah, that probably won't cause a problem, right? Every now and then I have to take a lens cloth to the camera that's currently visible, because Sky will rub his nose all over it.
No parent should have to bury their child, knowing it's me that put him there. The guilt will never go away.
I feel your pain.
I'll do anything to get him back. Anything. My work was what lured me here in the first place. It began showing me things I never should have painted. Things Charles should never have seen.
Oh, here we go. The inciting incident of the storyline.
Took care of you, saved you from your miserable life. You'll never find a man better than me. You owe me.
I owe you nothing. We'll leave now.
You're not going anywhere. You are mine.
Oh, dang. Yep, and as he was passing, that's where he raked his fingers along the door. There's the groundskeeper that's coming in.
Simon.
Come on. It's
I
over.
guess the little soldier went full ember scorched there. Was just artistic license because it clearly wasn't burned at all. All right, that is an artificial like shackle on it. Sherbet tends to follow Sky around a lot. Just maxing that out. Bump psychology up. That seems like it could help. Yep. Sky really is my my kitty diplomat when it comes to the new cats. He's always extra friendly. Yeah, he has shifted to only toasting half of his body now. Sherbet is getting a lot more accustomed to running around. Still very finicky around people, but much more comfy around the other cats. And he's reaching the point that Sammy is largely too, and that's that if you don't do any sudden movements and you don't you move slowly when you're near him, he'll let you go by, or he'll walk past instead of fleeing. Let's bump up psychology. And maybe some more spot hidden. Hello, Weasley. Yes. I acknowledge you. Sarah Hawkins is talking to Algernon Drake down there, apparently. I'm giving Weasley intensive head pats. Oof. Let's see where this goes. And that will determine how much longer our run is tonight. Because as long as we don't do cabinet stealth sequences, this is fun. This is an entertaining story. But those cabinet sequences are just terrible.
Mr. Pierce, we were waiting for you.
Good. Sarah doesn't have much time.
What are you doing here?
Did you think I would let you confront the occult without supervision?
This is too dangerous for a bookworm like you.
Algernon, I need to talk to Mr. Pierce.
Very well, Sarah. I will be in Charles Hawkins' office.
You seem different.
Yes. When I woke up this morning, my mind was sharper. Cleaner. I can still hear the voice calling me. It is so strong, so ancient, enticing, dangerous. I may
Any
never
more
be
adjectives you
able
want to throw in
escape the
there?
script, but for now, I can keep it at bay. I know what I owe you, Mr. Pierce, but I can't come back to Boston with you.
I saw everything. The tunnels under your house, the rituals, the secret society. I must get you out of its reach.
I know how dangerous they can be to me. But first, there's the Wanderer. I must find it and kill it. I am the only one who can end its slaughter.
No. No, you will come with me to Boston.
I owe you no obedience.
This isn't about what you want or don't want to do. You would risk destroying the world just because you can't face the consequences of your actions.
I am willing to atone for my sins.
No. You're just trying to erase all proof of the mistakes you've made.
I know what I have done. I will not rest until the creature is sent back to its dimension.
You can't give up, even knowing the stakes.
This will affect your destiny.
Still, I won't let you go.
What?
You will stay here until I find a safe way to return to Boston.
That's ridiculous. Listen, Algernon knows of a way to protect me. Help him find what he seeks, and we may all survive this battle.
All right. I'll help you.
So far, we're definitely going down a crazy time route. As if we look at Pierce's sanity right now, he is psychotic. There is a secret, a forgotten secret so old and terrifying, which is only divulged in the blasphemous pages of lost tomes or whispered during forgotten and outlawed rituals. We are not children of Providence. You know the cruel and awful truth, and you have seen the frightening face of reality. The cost of truth. While Pierce's sanity is growing dangerously weaker, his increased sensitivity to the occult opens new ways for him. On rare occasions, he is now able to unearth hidden truths when he speaks to the inhabitants of the island. As with everything connected to the myth, using it comes at a cost. I think every time I use those weird symbol dialogues that it's costing me. Good times. Kids' room. No, this is Sarah's room. Just making sure. is the kids' room. Where was that office? There we go.
Seeing you again. Ah, it's you. I'm here for her, not you.
I don't care why you're here. Your usefulness is the only thing that matters. How do we protect Mrs. Hawkins from the influence of the forces that claim her?
By following Charles Hawkins, that imbecile of a thief, of course.
What do you mean?
He found something. An amulet. The symbol engraved on it could protect Sarah.
Could?
We are dealing with forces that by far surpass what your intellect can process. Feel free to ask me any question regarding the matters that exceed your grasp.
You're kind of a jerk, Algernon.
What is the true nature of the Necronomicon?
I see that you are interested in my precious book. It is the definitive book of knowledge of the occult, Mr. Pierce, written by Abdul al-Hazred. It is the answer to many a question.
That is why it's so highly valued.
Yes, and even though it is a copy, given to me as a gift by Professor Armitage of Miskatonic University, the work remains very powerful.
I understand better why you keep it in a safe.
The dagger with the strange sign. Was it you who sold it to Francis Sanders?
If you are referring to the dagger of the ancients, then yes, it was me. Why?
Do you know what he intended to do with it?
Francis was primarily a collector of occult objects. He liked rare items such as the dagger. But I doubt he knew its purpose.
It allowed me to send the creature you call the Shambler back into the painting.
Fascinating. But I am afraid that this might only be short-lived.
You mean that thing could come back?
Yes, that is why I am looking for a more...
Mason joins us.
...permanent solution.
It must never come back.
This creature, the Shambler, what is it?
It is a hunter. It travels from one dimension to another to hunt down its prey.
Francis Sanders was one of its victims. How could a creature like that end up in one of Mrs. Hawkins' paintings?
Sarah has an uncommon gift. A connection with entities that live beyond our reality. I doubt that she was aware at the time, but when she painted the picture in a certain way, she called it.
And now it remains in our reality.
Let us say that it uses the painting as a portal into our reality. And we make enticing prey for it.
That's why we must find a way of sending it back to where it came from permanently. A genius like you must have already found a way to get rid of this creature, yes?
I sense your sarcasm, but it does happen that, yes, I do have a solution. I think I can destroy it, but for that I must approach the creature. And to be able to do so, I need the key to Rie.
Another one of your
right there,
baubles.
how he pronounced it.
It is no bauble, unbeliever.
Like that
It
little
is a very
roll
powerful
or like growl at the
able to
beginning.
repel very ancient forces. Much more effective than your cult.
What does it look like?
It is a golden amulet, bearing very ancient inscriptions and an elder sign at its center. A star with an eye in the middle.
I've already seen that sign. Where can we find it?
Therein lies the problem. That foul thief Charles has hidden it somewhere. I found this drawing among his personal effects. I think that it has something to do with the location of the amulet.
I'll follow this lead. You continue searching.
That is what I intend to do. As for you, return here the second you find it. I don't want it to disappear again.
Like, what was it? the actual pronunciation of Cthulhu. So Cthulhu is the pop culture way to pronounce it. Then Cthulhu is one that you hear sometimes, but apparently it's more like coughing Cthulhu. With that being the intent, that it looks like it's pronounced one way, but it is pronounced in another, much more difficult way. Find us a statue face. Would you like to drink? Very peaceful music. Ah, okay. It's Bradley without his hat on.
How are you, Bradley?
Ah, it's you, Pierce. I'm just worried about Marie. I mean, Dr. Colden. Have you had any news?
I'm so sorry, Bradley. I could do nothing to save her.
What do you mean? What happened?
I'm not sure what happened, but I found her body in the cellars of Riverside.
You sure that you've got nothing to do with it? If she hadn't tried to help you, she might still be alive.
I'm sorry. Truly.
It's that slug, Fuller. I swear I'll shoot him. What do you say, Pierce? Are you with me?
Doopy-doo.
Have no fear, Bradley. Dr. Fuller will not escape the clutches of destiny for long. Sooner or later, he will be judged for what he has done. You just need to have faith.
What are you talking about? What's this story of destiny? No, I'm sorry. I'm not gonna wait for some mystical intervention. I'll take care of him. Myself.
We must do something for those who are still alive, Bradley. Sarah is still in danger as long as the cult is active. We need to see this through, otherwise Marie's death will have been in vain.
You're, the voice of reason, Pierce. As always.
Voice of reason. That's why the conversation that I kicked off started with a bunch of occult symbols. Back the way I came? Yeah. Upstairs we go. That one. Sketch of a still life. Do, do. Concealed it with a treasure hunt. Yeah, it's not like we couldn't have seen that there was a closed box there in the first place. Well, that's ominous. I wonder. Yeah. Our little sanity coil's getting pretty low.
Ah, it's you again.
I think I've found what we're looking for.
Let me see that. Yes, that's it. It's perfect. We are saved.
I must tell Mrs. Hawkins.
Yes, do that.
Who's gonna run off with the amulet? Is it you?
I have it. It's a strange amulet. I hope it will protect you, considering that nothing will help you change your mind.
You must understand. I already went too far.
What have you seen that's so terrible you convinced yourself that you had to risk so much?
I can't tell you now.
This story is going to end badly.
Yes. Chief West is here with Sullivan.
Bradley, you take care of Sarah. I will deal with them.
You sure? All right.
I've been hearing about you a lot lately. You seem to enjoy causing trouble.
Nice job, Chief. You got me. Great police work.
You can try to play smart with me all you want, Pierce. Witnesses have identified you as the one who set fire to Riverside.
Witnesses? How convenient. That's not the whole story, is it?
I don't care about your stories. Save them for the judge. You know, us cops, we base our investigation on facts and testimonies.
Implanted evidence.
You might want to try that next time.
You bet I will.
Oh, Chief, and violence. Darkwater Police Station. More sober than Zadok Allen. Zadok Allen, the guy from the think. Ah, okay. I was thinking of a different one. Zadok Allen is from the Innsmouth story and is the pretty much the only remaining actual human there. See how much more sanity we can burn on magic crazy talk.
You know, I've heard a lot about you, Mr. Pierce.
All good, I hope.
It appears that you've been involved in a variety of misdemeanors since your arrival on Darkwater. Entering private property, twice. Aggression, insulting behavior, and to top it all, arson.
With all the liquor that is openly on sale in the middle of Prohibition, do you really want me to believe that you're enforcing the law?
Enough of that. You're not going to tell me how to do my job.
I just did.
I would like to point out that it is you, not me, who is behind bars.
There are things going on right now that are so much more serious than what you accuse me of.
Yeah? So what's going on that I don't know about?
Do investigation powers.
You'd be better off taking an interest in Dr. Fuller. The experiments he carries out on his patients are as inhuman as they are illegal. And when Dr. Colden wanted to put a stop to it, she too went under the knife.
What are you talking about? Nobody's reported any wrongdoings. Dr. Fuller is a man who is as much respected and admired on the island as he is in his profession. It seems like you've got a grievance against him. Is that why you set fire to his institute?
I'm admitting nothing at all.
Come on, I'll show you to your new residence. I'll be back later to ask you some questions. I hope that you'll make the right choice and confess to everything. It would be as unpleasant for you as it would be for me if I had to adopt more advanced questioning.
I have no doubt about that.
Good night, Mr. Pierce.
A very modern day critique of police work.
The truth seeker. We meet at last.
Who's there?
Yep. More deep sea references. This is fine. Well, hello there.
Men named Leviathan. Not because of the scale of my terrestrial form, but as a reminder of the immensity of my knowledge, which I came to share with you, human. Do not struggle. You will not be able to speak or escape my influence.
Struggle anyway.
I told you to behave. You are here to accept the knowledge and follow the path that leads to your freedom. This
And
is
also
an offer
yours?
that the likes of you, particularly those with such rare characteristics, cannot refuse. The more you bend your human spirit to make it able to receive the truth, the closer you will come to embrace his power. Where is the Oracle, Truth Seeker? Would you like to see her?
Yeah, well, let's go. The dreamlike investigation.
Not the very object of your quest. I'll let you see for yourself. But do not forget, your fate has already been written. Our paths shall cross again, Truth Seeker.
You know the risk, Sarah. If you happen to use your powers again, you may lose more than your life.
It is not about me, but innocent lives. I hope that your sources are reliable.
The bootleggers have the painting. If the dimensional shambler is to appear, he will do it here. The shambler! I knew it!
No! Not again!
Oh, well. It's Sarah Cam time.
Algernon, come back!
is Algernon? And the Shambler.
So, I get putting the metal cage on there. I do. But, what's the advantage of attaching the plywood? Is it perhaps so that people can't reach through and get the lock? But that could be accounted for with a key. Maybe it was busted or, became fragile, so they added, planks for support?
No way back.
Just seems like questionable construction, Board. Green oil lamps. Pipe of some sort. Lots of dead people. A hole in the wall. I think that was one of the places that I saw as Pierce when we went through here. You are very dead. Good, she has a lantern too. Two are very dead. Right, that's where we were, so let's keep going this way. Here. We turned left there, so up here. It's Algernon.
Sorry, old friend, but it's either you or me.
No! What are you... No! Open! Open up! Open this door! It's here.
Oh, there's our Shambler friend again. It's a very violent, brutal hunter.
Look. The beast is within our reach.
Are you sure you want to do it?
Let's go.
Quickly, come with me!
That oil.
How do we kill it?
The Shambler can open breaches between dimensions. He uses glyphs as anchors to stay in our world.
Then I must destroy these glyphs.
Exactly.
How can I find them?
I will make the glyphs visible so you can revoke them. By doing so, this zone will be protected by a barrier.
Perfect. Stay inside the shield.
I'll create the protective barrier. Get back inside it as soon as you sense the slightest danger. first glyph must have appeared somewhere on the floor.
How many are there?
Find that symbol, Sarah. It should react to the light if you use your lamp. The first glyph must have appeared somewhere on the floor.
We'll back up.
Find that symbol, Sarah. It should react to the light if you use your lamp.
Well, with luck, it's going to be, I just have to hit it with the light and not reveal it with the light.
The first glyph must have appeared somewhere on the floor.
Now, with luck, he means it's on the ground as opposed to it is on the ground floor.
Find that symbol, Sarah. It should react to the light if you use your lamp.
I'll never forgive myself for this painting.
The first glyph must have appeared somewhere on the floor.
Didn't see anything symbol-y yet.
Find that symbol, Sarah. It should react to the light if you use your lamp.
Oh, wait. There we go.
The glyph. I can't move it. Is it acting against me?
The ritual is working. Don't worry, it's just until I ward it off. Oh no. The Wanderer is back. The glyph is ready, Sarah. Run!
Nope. Okay, let's call it there for the night, folks. I think this is just I wasted too much time thinking I had to hit the glyph with the light there. As opposed to any trickiness of the sequence. So we should be able to finish it up next time we, at least continue along next time we play. I don't know how much longer we have on this one. On over. But yes, this has been another round of Call of Cthulhu. I am pleased that we've gotten past some of the cabinet stealth. Which is always good. It's good to be past it, not good functionally. Not fond of it functionally. Let's see. Tomorrow is more Outer Wilds. Then Saturday is some Catbot Noida. Then we'll be posting a new schedule on Sunday. I do hope everybody had a good time tonight. I want to thank you for watching, and I want to give a special thanks to my supporters on Twitch and Patreon, a list of which I need to update again. If you'd like to join the Catbot Legion, you can do so through a subscription on Patreon or a donation through Ko-fi. My handle on all of my platforms is Newt Mechanist. You can find my YouTube channel and my TikTok channel that way as well. Of course, if you needed to find the YouTube channel, how would you have... Oh, you can just use the stream link through that. Let's see. So again, I hope everybody had a good time tonight, and I will see you again tomorrow.